What's up, guys and gals and anything in between? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Elantra N, seeing the 10 positives and the 10 negatives of the vehicle. Now, I love this vehicle personally, so all the stuff I don't have anything to hate on it, but all the negatives about the car are really just me just trying to find something to say that I don't like the car, because overall I love the car. I have way more positives than I do negatives, but I thought this would be a good video for y'all that are looking to get one, and maybe some of the negatives I have will determine your decision to get one, and maybe some of the positives I have will determine the decision to get one, you know. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. So let's get into our first positives, and then we'll get into the negatives. Now, first positive thing about the car, and I want to mention that this is not in order. First positive thing is the color, the cyber gray, the red, the black. Dude, the color on this car like pops and it looks amazing. I didn't think the cyber gray would pop as much as it does, but y'all, this looks amazing in person. I don't even know if the video really does it justice, but like this car genuinely looks like gorgeous. Like it pops way more than other cars that like I parked around. Like they have like a silver or gray going on. This cyber gray like is like from outer space, bro. It's not even from this world. Like it looks amazing. I think the other,
oh my god, what is that?
all right, y'all see that? Yeah, just ignore that. I didn't clean the car yet. It's about to rain tomorrow, so chill. The other cars that be around, like their gray doesn't like match to this, and it just looks so good. The other colors look great too, like the blue, the red, the what is it, the performance blue. But like the gray, just in my opinion, looks best with the red. It just does. Now, second positive is the power and the sound. I put them in the same category because why not? And I popped the hood so y'all can see it. So this comes with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder with 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque. And there goes the turbo right there. And this thing moves. It moves. You feel it move too. The pound-feet of torque, that helps it a lot to feel the power of the car. It will have your head way back into the seat. So let's go ahead and start it up. Why not? So this is the key right here. I'm not really a big fan of it. Kind of looks dated, but you see how it makes the Hyundai logo on it. So there goes the N badge right there. So all you got to do is just hit the lock button. I believe you actually have to do it once, and then just hold the remote start. Just because this thing has a good exhaust note and some good power doesn't mean that you can't treat this as a daily car. And that's how we get into our third positive here. Why the heck are my windshield blades on? Okay, sure. You can literally go from corporate America, normal commute driving, to track mode in literally a push of a button. So I have it set up to where I have my drive mode button set to here and my N mode button set to here. But you can also set your drive mode here as well. So if you press this button once, we're currently in normal mode right now. If you press it once, you go into sport mode, and you press it again, you go into eco. So those are your options. So if you're trying to just drive normal, not being obnoxious at all, then you'd want to do eco or normal. Once you get into sport, the exhaust valves open up in the back and your car gets a little bit louder. But if you want the real pops and bangs and your whole track mode, you go ahead and push that N button. It puts you in N mode, the standard N mode. And then I have it to where if you press it again, it puts you in your custom mode. And what that is if you go to your infotainment system, go to N mode, and this is basically all your track data that you'd want. If you slide over, you can customize your custom 1 or custom 2. I have my custom 1 in steering normal and suspension normal, because usually if I'm using N mode in like city driving or something, I like to still have my steering just normal and suspension normal, because those potholes be crazy. So, and you can also customize this. If you hold this right here or any of them, you can actually move some of these over. So I believe the default was lap timer was actually over here. I put it to where the turbo is right there, because I can see my turbo PSI right there if I'm not in N mode and I'm just in sport or something, you know. But yeah, so I love how you can switch this car's personality in the push of a button. It's awesome. The fourth positive of this vehicle would actually be the interior space. There's actually so much legroom in this car, and that's one of the reasons why I am like the 1% of the world that actually prefers sedans over hatchbacks. I just feel like there's just so much space in a sedan, and this has lots of space. If you're taller, I'm about 5'10", I'm not the tallest guy in the world. If you're like 6 foot over, you honestly won't have issues getting into this car, getting out of the car. The car does sit a little bit low, the seats do. So you probably will be falling into the seat rather, but in terms of legroom, you're perfectly good. If you got a family, oh, no problem, man, no problem. So much legroom back here. Again, I need to clean, chill out. So much legroom back here. And just look at this. This is usually my normal driving position. I got a lot of legroom back here. And if you're a bit taller than me, you can easily push the seat back, no issue, and still have legroom in here. You got a lot of space back here. In terms of headroom, headroom could be a little bit better, but if you're a taller guy, your hair might be gracing the headliner a little bit, but you shouldn't be bumping your head on the top, really. You should be okay. But there is so much space in here. I'm pretty happy with the space. And speaking of the seats, my fifth positive would actually be these bucket seats. I'm a sucker for bucket seats, man. And these ones are nice and comfy, and they look sick. I love this little 3-strip lining they do here. I love how the N logo lights up. You can see it better at night, but you probably see it right now. It looks really good. I love the bolstering on the seat. So when I'm driving, if I'm driving like a wavy road, a curvy road, and I have to do some real hard turns, I don't feel myself shifting around in the seat almost at all. I feel like centered in the seat. I feel grasped by the seat. Like it's good. So you can't unfortunately adjust the bolstering of it. What you got is what you get. But it is pretty good. I like it. Very comfortable. I haven't gone for a very long drive in this. I heard people saying that like those long road trips, like 3 hours or more or something, they can start getting uncomfortable. The longest time I drove this car was about 1.5 hours, and personally I wasn't uncomfortable. So yeah, so I really like these seats. All right, so 6 positive would actually be the handling of the vehicle. This vehicle handles so well, it is crazy. For a front wheel drive, this handles extremely well. When I'm doing tough turns, tight corners, I don't feel the car like really swerving out almost at all. Now, right now, you know, it's kind of colder outside, so these tires may not be as grippy as, you know, I'd like them to be, because these are summer tires still on this car. I definitely recommend getting off seasons if you're doing a daily driving in this. But even so, when I was driving this car when it was around like 60 outside, you know, 70, it's super grippy. It's really nice. So this handling on this car, it does not feel slow. It does not. It truly does feel like a real track car. So yeah, handling is great on this car. The 7th positive would actually be this little dash cluster right here. So this dash cluster is really cool. I'm going to shut the door. This dash cluster is really, really cool. So you can change it by hitting this little button right here, and that goes through the different categories. This right here basically shows like what cars are next to you in the road. Like this is like your safety hazard almost. So if you have like a car like in your blind spot, it would like pop up here like saying like, yo, you got a car in your blind spot. It would have like a little like red cone or orange cone right there. So that's more of like a safety thing. And then if you go ahead and flip this up and down, you can go to the settings. This one only has 1. So let's go to the next category. This shows your oil temps. So this is like your track mode little category. So your oil temps, engine temps, I mean. Your turbo PSI, torque, your lap time, your G-force, all of that. And then you go on. So this one is usually what I have it on. You have it on you have a digital miles per hour gauge. And then we have your trip timer, your time sense refueling, your sensor reset, and you go to here. This is just your compass, And then this is your tire pressure. When you're driving, it shows your tire pressure, so it shows like your little information. In the infotainment system, you can actually change which gauge cluster you want to see. There's only 3 options you can choose from. You can choose from eco, normal, or sport. If you want all of them to show up in the sport format, go into your infotainment system, go into the settings, and you can change this to be all of them. So if I put in eco or normal, it doesn't matter. It's going to stay in this little, it's going to have this little display here. So really cool, and I like the animation for the end mode too. Little fire, looks sick. Speaking of the infotainment system, this will be my 7th positive. This infotainment system has a lot going on. I'm not going to go through everything for the sake of this video being shorter, but the settings you can do in here are very in-depth. You can do a lot to this car, this infotainment system. You can pretty much set it to however much you want. Everything you'd want to do in here is pretty much in here. You can even turn like the turn signal 1 touch, 3 flashes, or you can do like, I think it's like up to 7. Yep, up to 7 or 5, and all that is just like when you flick it. I have it set to 3, and you can do a welcome light, ambient lighting. You can change all of that, so you can change the brightness, the color of it, all of that. I think this infotainment system is awesome. The navigation's also really good. I've been using that. That's really good. Even like the phone calling is really nice. Has your own valet mode. Of course, we just looked at N mode, climate control. I really like this infotainment system. And speaking of infotainment system, we're gonna go down here to the buttons. So my 8th positive actually is how there are a lot of physical buttons here. I like cars that have physical buttons because I don't like to rely on doing everything from a screen. Of course, you have here on your buttons, you have your map, navigation, radio, basically everything you'd have up there. You have your setup. This is just your options. You can set this little star button to anything you want, as well as this one. I have this set to my Apple CarPlay, and then I have this set to, you know, go back to the home page, because there is no actual home page button. You have to like go all the way back to the infotainment system. So I just made that my home button. And then here you have your, of course, your AC, climate control stuff all around here. You have your heated seats, front and rear, defrost, your circulation, all that. See, I love all the buttons in this. Your parking sensor, your parking camera, your backup camera rather, and of course your drive mode buttons. And it's not a button, but you know, your little physical handbrake, I love that too. So I love all the physical buttons in here. It really brings it all together, so I don't have to rely on all of this, because I like how you can also control the climate control through this, or you can control it through here. So really nice. Okay, so I went ahead and turned the car off because I didn't want it idling for too long. But sorry about that. I lost count. So I was on my 8th positive. This is my 10th positive. I lost count. So my last positive of the vehicle is the gear shift. I'm a sucker for these actual gear shifts. I don't like the knobs. I don't like here. I don't like any of that. I think I saw one where it was like buttons on the actual like center console here, and then buttons here. I was like, bro, this is just fine. Like, this is just cool. I love this. I love resting my hand on here sometimes. I like just actually moving it. I like this. I like the actual gear shift, as well as how you can go in the manual mode. You just pull it back and then pull it to the left, and you can go into manual mode. You can either shift it here by like flicking it back to go up and then flicking it forward to go down a gear, or you can do it through these paddle shifters here. So that's my last positive about the vehicle. Now let's get into the negatives. Again, I want to mention that the negatives of the vehicle aren't like killer negatives to me. They're just things that I had to find, you know, for the video. But there's some things that do bother me, but other things that don't really bother me as much, but I still put in the list because, you know, why not? It might bother other people. So let's get on to the negatives. All right, first negative is actually the cup holder space. There is only these 2 cup holders in the car, and whatever this is, people use this as like a coin holder, but this is like a little mini cup holder for like smaller things. I usually just put my trash in here and then take it when I'm leaving out the car. But anyway, yeah, these are the only 2 cup holders. There's no cup holders in like those little like indents, I guess, the little what am I thinking, cubbies. There's no cup holders in the back. There's not even a thing to put down your like a little armrest back there. There's none of that. there quite literally is only these 2 cup holders, and I do, you know, get fast food sometimes. I get milkshakes, and I do like to have them right here. But having no cup holders kind of sucks, especially because these are 2 different sizes. There's one that's smaller, one that's bigger. I wish they were both the same size, but you know, it's whatever. So yeah, only 2 cup holders. Little weird, but you know, it's fine. Yeah, sure. My second negative would actually be that there's no ventilated seats. I wish there was ventilated seats. There's only heated seats. I really wish these seats came with ventilated seats. That would be really nice. Ignore all that. That's just my camera and Wawa stuff. But yeah, I really wish these came with ventilated seats. I think that would have made these seats way more better. Into our third negative actually would be that there's only one powered window. So what that means is just when you flick it once, it goes down automatically. Flick it up once, goes automatic, or goes up automatically. But these other ones, so you flick it, it doesn't go down automatically because they're not, I mean, they're powered windows, but they're not, I guess it's the automatic powered windows. I don't know. I actually don't really know. I still don't know the term for it. Yeah, so you know what I mean though. Like you flick it down, they don't automatically go down for you. Only the driver's side window does that for you. The other windows, you have to manually go up or down. So yeah, that would be my third negative. My fourth negative would actually be that these seats are not powered seats or electric seats. They are manual, so you have to pump this up to keep the seat going up, and then you pump it down to go down, and then this is just like to move this part of the seat back or up, and then you know, you move this to go forward. I really wish these were electric. I had that in my last car. It was really nice to control where I was sitting in the seat, like on the fly. This, like, I can't control, you know, me moving forward or back on the fly, because I actually have to put my head down below the wheel in order to really do that, or at least on the wheel to really do that. And that's just, you know, unsafe while driving, and I'm obviously not going to do that. So I wish these were powered seats. My fifth negative would actually be the lights in this car. Now here you might be like, what are you talking about? That's because I changed these out. These are LEDs. I put LEDs in this in these, but before they were amber. They were yellow amber lights, and they did not look good. It made the car feel super cheap, and it just didn't look good. So that was one of the first things I did to this vehicle. So yeah, I didn't like that. So that would be my fifth negative. And I guess we'll go on, segue into our sixth negative here. Speaking of cheap, this car, the interior plastic feels horrible. It does not feel good. There's plastic where plastic shouldn't even be, like right here. I don't know why they put plastic right here, especially because people like to rest their arm on here, but it just feels uncomfortable doing so with this plastic. And it's like that all the way around, hard plastic. This is a little bit more softer, but it's still really firm. Plastic here, plastic here. Yeah, it's not really good. And me saying that, I'm saying that to say that this plastic does rattle when you drive. I don't know where it happens at. It sounds like it's happening from over there, but it sounds like it's somewhere in this section, maybe in the back somewhere. But I do notice when I'm driving sometimes, the car will just start, like, the plastic in the car, I mean, will just start rattling, and you hear it. I don't know if it's in the headliner, maybe, I don't know, but you hear it, and it's really annoying. And it's that actually something that does bother me, the cheap interior plastic. It's rather the noise in the plastic itself, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the plastic in this car. Now, my seventh negative with this car would be that these auto lights are super sensitive, and I'm not joking when I say that. It's good that they come on, they work, but the amount of times when I just be driving in broad daylight and I'll be behind or beside a semi truck at, like, I don't know, let's say a stoplight or something, and the sun is shining behind the truck, and so there's shade under my car a little bit, these lights will just turn on. It will just turn on. If I'm beside like a little tree or something and there's a slight bit of shade, these turn on. And that's just really annoying. It constantly turns on and off, and I'm just like, bro, sometimes I just turn it off because it's just really annoying to just constantly see that light pop up out of nowhere and just go away constantly. Especially when I'm highway driving, I go under a tunnel for literally a second and it turns on. So sometimes I'll just literally just turn it off, and I hear other people do that as well. I think there's automatic high beams too, but people's been having issues with that as well. The same thing happens where it's a little bit of shade and boom, the high beams just turn on and it blinds the drivers in front of you. So yeah, the automatic lights in this car are a little bit too sensitive. I'm glad they work well, but it's just way too sensitive for my liking. Eighth negative of this car would be that the first gear feels horrible. I'll just be honest. It does not feel good. It feels really jerky. I feel like when I'm at a stoplight, I'm in first gear, even in manual mode, whatever, I'll go and press on the gas a little bit, and either the car will barely move at all, or it will jerk forward when I give it a little bit more gas. And it does not feel good to stay in first gear. So typically I'll just like go in first gear just to accelerate a little bit, and I'll immediately shift into second gear. Obviously you're supposed to do that, but I don't wait on it. Like, I just immediately do it because the moment I can do it, it doesn't feel good. Like, you have to test drive this car or have this car and be in first gear and start off to know what I'm talking about. If you know, but it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel smooth. So yeah, that would be my eighth negative. Now, my ninth negative actually does bother me. This is one of the reasons why. This is actually one I really don't like. So a lot of people might love it. I personally don't. So what it is, let me go ahead and lock the car. So what it is they have it set up to where if you have the key in your pocket or key in your hand and you go to the back of the trunk will automatically open for you. This is useful for if you're getting like groceries and you have your hands full, you walk up to your trunk and the car will start flashing about 4 times, and on the 4th flash it will open up for you. That's helpful, but the problem I run into is this opens up or starts flashing when I'm just walking past it sometimes. The issue that I always come by is, I like to call myself a gentleman. I open up the door for my girlfriend. I usually go around the car this way. So when I do that sometimes, I'll be walking past and this will just start flashing. So let me show you what I mean. So this is how it works. You come up to the car, flashes 4 times. On the 4th flash, it opens up. It is pretty loud. So when I'll just be walking past like this, just casually walking past, it will turn on. Now, it's not gonna do it now because it literally just did it, but it will sometimes just turn on, and I really don't like that. And I don't like how loud it is because now everyone in the vicinity knows that my trunk's open. So I'm not the biggest fan. So boom, there it goes. It's doing it right now. I'm just walking past. And I had to walk a little bit faster because I didn't want it to open up on me. So that I don't like. Now I'm gonna segue into our 10th and last negative. So there it goes, doing it again. So the last negative is actually gonna be, there is no trunk like handle. There's no handle on this trunk, and it really sucks because now it's like you have to put your fingers on the paint, get your fingerprints on there if you just cleaned it, and it's annoying. So the only good way to do it is to just either put your fingerprints on the paint or just grab this little like latch right here and you can just like pull it down like that. But I really don't like how they don't have a trunk latch on there. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've seen people, what they do is they just put like a tow hook on there and they use that to pull it down. So easy fix, but just random. Okay, and that's all of the positives and negatives I have for this vehicle as of right now. I actually do have more. So if y'all want more positive and negatives of the vehicle, just let me know, because there's certain things that I didn't really want to touch on this video, because I don't want this video to be too long. This car is amazing. If you're thinking about getting this car, then go ahead and get it, bro. It's great. Don't let the negatives and positives stop you from getting the car. really just test. I really encourage people, if you're really thinking about getting this car, just go out, test drive it yourself, or just have like a checklist on things you want in the car and things you don't want in the car. Maybe some of the things on this list that I mentioned that I like, y'all hate, or maybe some things that I don't like, y'all prefer. You know, it's different. It's all opinion based. Yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, have a good one, y'all.